State of Wyoming versus Aaron James McKinney, docket 6381. The Honorable Barton R. Boyd presiding. Business session.
During the trial of Aaron McKinney, the prosecution played a taped recording of his confession.
My name is Sergeant Rob Reed, Sergeant for the Allegheny County Sheriff's Department. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and may be used against you in court of law.
The following is an excerpt of that confession.
So you guys, you and Russ go to the fireside. You're by yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you go if you leave the fireside?
Some kid wanted to ride home.
What's he look like?
Such a queer dude.
He looks like a queer?
Yeah, like a fag, you know?
Okay. How'd you meet him?
Well, the dude's drunk, and we just thought, well, let's just take him home.
What's the first thing he said or did inside the truck that made you hit him?
Well, he put his hand on my leg, acting as if he was going to grab my genitals. I was like, look, I'm not a fucking faggot. You touch me again, you're going to get it. I don't know what that he was trying to think. But I beat him up pretty bad. I think I killed him.
When that defense team argued that McKinney did what he did because Matthew made a pass at him, I just wanted to vomit because that's like saying that it's okay. It's like the Twinkie defense when that guy killed Harvey Milk and Moscone. It's the same thing.
As much as part of me didn't want them saying it was a gay bashing or that it was a gay panic, part of me is really grateful. Because in the trial, I was really worried that they were going to say it was a robbery or it was about drugs. So when they used gay bashing as their defense, I thought, this is good. If nothing else, the truth is going to be told. The truth is coming out.
Did he ever try to defend himself against you or hit you back?
He tried his little swings or whatever, but he wasn't very effective.
How many times did you hit him inside the truck before you guys stopped where you left it?
I'd say him 2 or 3 times. About 3 times with a pistol and about 6 times with a gun.
Did he ask you to stop?
Well, yeah, he's getting the shit kicked out of him.
What did he say?
Well, much after he asked me to stop, he was just screaming.
So, Russ kind of dragged him over to the fence, I assume, and tied him up?
Yeah, all I remember is Russ was laughing at first, but then he got pretty scared.
Was Matthew conscious when Russ tied him up?
Yeah, I told him to what my license plate number said, because I was afraid to tell the police. So when he started reading it, that's when I hit him a few more times.
What? So you obviously don't like gay people?
No, I don't.
Would you say you hate them?
I wouldn't say hate them, but when they start coming on me, I get pretty aggravated.
Did he threaten you?
The gay dude?
Yeah.
Not really.
Can you answer me one thing? Why did you guys take his shoes?
I don't know. Now I'll never get to see my son again.
I don't know. You'll probably go to the courthouse sometime today.
So I'm just gonna go in there and plead guilty or not guilty today.
No. You're just being arraigned today.
He is. He's gonna die for sure.
There's no doubt Mr. Shepard is going to die.
They're gonna give me 25 to life or give me a death penalty to get over with.
That's not our job. That's the job of the judge and the jury.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor. We, the jury, impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled case after having well and truly tried the matter, unanimously find as follows. As to the charge of kidnapping, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of aggravated robbery, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of first-degree felony murder, kidnapping, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty.
Aaron McKinney was found guilty of felony murder, which meant that the jury could give him the death penalty. That evening, Judy and Dennis Shepard were approached by McKinney's defense team, who pled to that science life. The prosecution indicated they would defer to the family's wishes as to whether or not to pursue the death penalty. The following morning, Dennis Shepard made a statement to the court. Here is some of what he said.
My son Matthew did not look like a winner. He was rather uncoordinated and wore braces to the age of 13 to the day he died. However, in his all too brief of a life, he proved that he could win again. On October 6, 1998, my firstborn son proved that he could win again. On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero lost. On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero died 50 days before his 22nd birthday. I keep wondering the same thing that I think of whenever I saw him in the hospital. What would he become? How could he change his piece of the world to make it better? Matthew officially died in a hospital in Fort Collins, Colorado. He actually died on the outskirts of Laramie, tied to a fence. You, Mr. McKinney, and your friend, Mr. Henderson, left him out there by himself. But he was not alone. He had a lifelong worth of friends that he grew up with. You're probably wondering who these friends were. First, he had the beautiful night sky, and the stars and the moon you used to see through a telescope. He had the daylight to shine on his face. He could smell the snowy range. He could hear the Wyoming wind, the ever-present Wyoming wind, for the last time. And he had one more friend with him. He had God. And it made me feel a lot better knowing that he was not alone. Matt's meetings, hospitalization, and funeral focused worldwide attention on hate. Good is coming out of people. And people are saying enough is enough. You know what? I miss my son. But I'm proud to say that he was my son. Judy was quoted that she was against the death penalty. Matthew was also quoted that he was also against the death penalty. Both of these statements are wrong. I would like nothing better than to see you die, Mr. McKinney. But this is the time to start the healing process, to show mercy to someone who refused to show any. Mr. McKinney, I grant you life for Matthew. Every single time you celebrate a birthday, Christmas, the 4th of July, remember that Matthew isn't. Just remember that you had an opportunity to stop your actions that night. You robbed me of something very precious. And I will never forgive you for that. Mr. McKinney, may you have a long life. May you thank Matthew every single day for it.
Me and Debris hugged and cried. And you know, everybody had tears in their eyes and they're just so grateful, you know? And Mr. Shepherd started crying and that got me bawling and everybody just...
This is all we've lived and breathed daily. This has been my case daily, and now it's over.
Maybe we can go on and quit being stuck, you know?
It just hit me today, the minute I got out of the courthouse, that the reason God wanted me to find him is he didn't have to die up there alone. And if I wouldn't have found him, they wouldn't have found him for another couple of weeks at least. So it makes me feel really good that he didn't have to die out there alone.
I'm just glad it's over. I really am. Testifying that trial was one of the hardest things I ever have to do. And don't get me wrong, I love the stage. I do. I love it, but it's tricky because, well, you have our lawyers questioning from this angle, but you have to funnel your answers over for the jury. it's hard for me because I'm a natural conversationalist and you're used to making eye contact with someone when they're asking questions. So what you have to do is invent to create the funneling system, and that's change a position and then move all your answers over to where the jury is. But I was able to do that several times during my testimony.